Hey Hoopheads, Brad here, breaking down another game from the Raptors championship run, and today I want to talk about the Raptors 125-89 blowout win over the Sixers in Game 5 of the second round. In this game, Jimmy Butler led the Sixers with 22 points, but he did it on 6 of 16 shooting, and the Raptors held Embiid to just 13 points on 10 attempts. Simmons had just 7 points. That's the second game in a row where both of those guys scored under 15. Let's get into it. This is the very first play of the game, and as Redick comes up to set a screen on Kawhi, the Raptors switch it, so now Lowry is defending Simmons in the post. First, Lowry fronts him to prevent that pass over the top, so the Sixers swing it to enter from the side, and they eventually get it into him, but Lowry with a nice job of not letting himself get back down. Green comes over with the help, so Simmons kicks it out. And then as Harris drives, Lowry steps up to meet him, and that's going to leave Ben Simmons open for the little drop pass, but Kawhi has dropped down off of Jimmy Butler, so the second that Simmons gets the ball, Kawhi already has his hands on it, able to rip it away and get the steal. And now on the Sixers' second possession of the game, Simmons pushing it up the court. He's met by Kawhi, and as Siakam pressures up from behind, Kawhi is able to deflect the ball off Simmons' leg. Lowry with a great hustle, first to the floor. Simmons fouls him. That's going to be a turnover. And then on this play, you see Redick run up for the handoff, and watch how hard Gasol sells out to prevent the three-point shot. That's going to leave Embiid wide open for the drive, able to put it up and in around Kawhi, but that was one of Embiid's just 4 field goal attempts in the lane. Here, as Embiid gets the ball and drives, he gets half a step on Gasol, and usually Embiid can just bump his shoulder into his defender, and that'll create enough space to shoot, but Gasol is big and mobile, so when he hits him, it does nothing. Great verticality from Gasol, and it's a bad miss from Embiid. On this play, you see Green pressuring Butler full court. That's something the Raptors did a lot this game, trying to wear Butler down a bit. And then Butler drops it off to Mike Scott, who you know wants to shoot the three, but Siakam doesn't go for any of his jabs. And then as Simmons gets the ball back, watch Gasol and Embiid battling for post position. Eventually Embiid gets it, but as he tries to go to work in the post, Gasol is able to deflect the ball out of his hands. Just nothing easy coming for Joel. And then on this play, you see the Raptors zoned up, effortlessly switching as the Sixers probe for weaknesses, and then eventually they're going to get the ball to Embiid on the right side, and he faces up against Gasol and tries to drive on him again, but Gasol meeting him with more force than he's used to, not able to control the ball and dribbles it out of bounds. Gasol really giving Embiid fits, and Embiid had 8 turnovers in this game, just a lackluster performance. Of course, not all those turnovers were his fault. On this play, as Embiid gets the ball, Siakam comes immediately for the double team, and watch Mike Scott. He's wide open for 3, nobody around. Embiid can find him, but Mike Scott makes a cut just as Embiid is throwing the pass, and the ball sails out of bounds. Not a great cut from him. And I mentioned the Raptors really trying to protect the paint, and what that does is it often leaves people wide open for threes. Here you see Gasol dropped all the way into the paint to try to prevent the drive, and that leaves Embiid open for 3 at the top, and that was a shot the Raptors decided they would live with all game, and it led to 6 3-point attempts for Embiid, and if you can keep Embiid out on the perimeter, that's hugely valuable. He had more 3-point attempts in this game than shots in the paint, and any defense will take that. Even the shots that he did get in the paint were quite difficult for the most part, and the Raptors just did a really great job defending him. On this play, as Tobias Harris gets the ball and drives to the right, watch how Danny Green gets up over the Ben Simmons screen to run Mike Scott off the 3-point line, while Serge steps up to contest the baseline jumper. And then on the weak side, Greg Monroe is going to get the rebound, but Lowry with the incredible strip. Great combination of hands and strength to take that ball away. And then here, as Tobias Harris brings the ball up, he's going to pitch it to Embiid and then try to cut backdoor on Fred. But check out how Vleet gets his hand up in the passing lane to prevent that pass. And then as Harris does get the ball, Gasol is going to drop down into help position. Some nice pressure by Fred. The ball goes to Butler in the corner. And as he drives, watch Fred switch onto him, stay with him on the drive, and give a nice shot contest on the layup attempt. Solid D there from Vleet despite being outsized. And then on this one, the Raptors have their 2 big lineup with Ibaka and Gasol. And as Embiid gets the ball, watch how Serge and Lowry switch spots in the zone. Serge comes over like he's going to double team, and then he starts to back off to goad Embiid into driving, but he never takes his eyes off of him. And the second that Embiid tries to drive, Serge comes in and closes that gap. Embiid turns it over again. The Raptors throwing all different kinds of looks at him. And now as Embiid comes up to set the screen, Gasol stays down at the three-point line, and as Butler starts to drive, Gasol starts moving himself backwards so that he doesn't get beat off the dribble, stays with Butler on the drive, challenges that layup attempt, and you see how valuable Gasol's mobility is. And now on this one, watch Jimmy Butler try to go at Fred, the fire hydrant, just taking every hit, not backing down. Butler can't do anything with it. He has to toss it to Embiid and set a screen, and Fred pressures up onto Embiid and just snatches the ball away from him just like that, reaches around the backside and just casually takes it. And now as Simmons brings the ball up, look how far Siakam drops off him because he's not a threat to shoot the pull-up three at all. So as Simmons tries to throw the entry pass to Greg Monroe, Siakam is already in the passing lane and he's able to just easily intercept it. Nice anticipation by Siakam. And then on this play, as Simmons hands it off to Redick and Redick comes off the screen, watch Kawhi work hard to get over it while Serge steps up to cut off that three-point attempt. Nice job snuffing out that initial action, and then the ball goes to Tobias Harris, who probes a little bit, nothing happening, and then the Sixers are going to swing it to Greg Monroe in the corner, and Serge just doesn't even bother trying to guard him. He airballs it, and then off the missed shot, check out Siakam sprinting back on defense. Lowry is there to cut off Simmons' drive to the basket. It goes out to Butler, and then watch this closeout. Siakam completely changes direction, gets out to the three-point line to shut down the first attempt, doesn't overshoot it, stays in the play so that as Butler repositions, he's still on him, and he gets up to give a nice shot contest. Great hustle and execution of the closeout by Pascal. And now Green pressuring in the backcourt again on Butler. Butler takes it into the front court and then slows down, waits for Embiid, passes it off as he comes off the screen, and then as Mike Scott hands it off to Tobias Harris, Harris has Butler open for the pass here, but he just takes one dribble, and that gives Danny Green enough time to advance and get a hand in the passing lane and get that steal. And now Butler takes Lowry down to the corner, and Mike Scott cuts to the basket, and then he's going to fade out to the corner here, and instead of going with him, Siakam stays under the basket because he sees something materializing. JJ Redick is going to cut to the basket, but Pascal is there as he catches the ball, disrupts him, forces the turnover. Great help defense. And now as Simmons comes off the screen, Green is going to drop down while Gasol just shades over but stays within arm's reach of Embiid. And then as Joel gets the ball and turns to the middle, just great hands from Danny Green to get the strip. Really clean, really well done. And while the Sixers trailed by 21 heading into halftime, they were able to go on a pretty nice run at the start of the third quarter, but eventually the Raptors defense set itself back in and started to build the lead back up. On this play, Ben Simmons is pushing it, and check out the active hands from Pascal Siakam here. Incredible work to deflect the pass, and on the replay, watch how he checks over his shoulder to see the cutter coming, and that's how he's able to anticipate that pass. It lands right in Lowry's lap, and he just outruns Embiid and Harris for the easy layup down at the other end. Great work creating points off of turnovers. And then this is just a Lowry special. As Redick gets the ball, Lowry pressures up onto him, moving his feet really well, active hands, harassing him, able to poke the ball loose and collect it, getting the steal. Great work by Lowry, tremendous effort. And now off some screening action, the Raptors switch it and wind up with Danny Green on Ben Simmons and Serge on Jimmy Butler. And as Simmons gets the ball in the post, check out how Serge is in help position, but he's not over helping so that he can still get back out to Butler. The pass goes to Butler, and Serge does a nice job to get out and run him off the three-point line. And as soon as Butler steps into the mid-range shot, Green is in perfect position to step up with the great shot contest. Nice work, nice team defense. And now as Butler drives to the middle of the floor, you see he's met by three defenders, and you can see Ennis setting a screen on Serge Ibaka. Serge does well to get over it, plus Kawhi slides over for the help defense to cut off the baseline. The ball goes out to Ennis, and as he drives on Green, Pascal Siakam with the incredible block pins it to the backboard. One of my favorite blocks I've ever seen from him. Just gets up and owns it. And then here Butler calls for the screen. He wants to get switched onto Siakam for some reason, and watch how Siakam moves his feet on this play. First, great anticipation to not let him pass, and then as Butler steps back, Siakam advances just a little bit in case he tries to shoot, and then as Butler crosses over and drives to the middle, Siakam doesn't just go with him, but he takes a big step back and then goes to the middle, and that allows him to beat Butler to the spot and cut off that drive. Siakam has great discipline on the pump fake, doesn't go for it, just pressures up to him, and Butler ends up settling for the tough contested fadeaway mid-ranger. Great defense by Siakam. Butler didn't know what hit him, and that's 2 back-to-back plays showing how great Siakam can be both off-ball and on-ball as a defender. And with Embiid struggling to score all game, he was trying to make an impact in other ways, but you just see that he's not the greatest passer here. Even though he gets the pass through, he throws it way too hard, it just bounces off Simmons' hands. That's a turnover. And then on this one, some nice fronting from Kyle Lowry. You see Serge Ibaka shading over. Definitely should have got called for a defensive 3-second violation at some point in this possession. And then Redick comes off the Embiid screen. You see Gasol come out to trap him, get the ball out of his hands, and then Embiid just blows the pass over the top. That would have been an easy basket if he could have got it through. And as the game got into the fourth quarter, the lead started to balloon up to 30 and then beyond 30. And the Raptors just did a nice job of keeping the Sixers at bay, contesting shots, not overdoing it, just keeping pressure up and not giving up anything easy. It was basically garbage time for the entire fourth quarter. But here's a nice play from Jeremy Lin as Boban Marjanovic gets the ball and tries to go to work. Watch Lin's man clear out, and Lin starts to follow him and then circles back and picks it right out of Marjanovic's hands. An Eric Moreland sighting as he finds Norm on the fast break for the hammer. That would be the ball game. The Raptors win this one by 36 points to take a 3-2 series lead. Thanks for watching. Check out the Patreon where you can get exclusive content and vote for which non-Raptors games I cover. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you thought of the Raptors defense in the comments.